It's a beautiful morning, and you're out on your training ride. Then you hear it. You've got a flat tire. Are you prepared to change it? Well, don't worry. With a little know-how, you'll be riding again in just a few minutes. First, pull off the road and get to a safe place. Never try to change a flat tire in traffic. To change your tube, you'll need this equipment: tire levers, a spare inner tube, and a CO2 cartridge or a pump. To begin, open your brakes. This is done by lifting up the small lever on the brake caliper. Next, open the quick release mechanism by pulling the lever. Then, while holding the nut on the other side of the skewer, rotate the quick release lever a few times in a counterclockwise direction. This loosens the wheel, making it easy to take off. To remove the wheel from the frame, pull back on the derailleur and carefully slide the wheel out. Take the cap off the valve stem and then remove the small nut that secures the stem into the rim. You may not have these items. If not, that's okay. Next, take one of your tire levers and slide the scooped side of it between the tire and the rim. Then, slide it all the way around the wheel. This will remove the tire from one side of the rim. Starting opposite of the valve stem, reach under the tire, grab hold of the inner tube, and pull it out. Then, carefully pull the valve stem out of the rim. Now, check the tire for any debris by sliding your fingers slowly and carefully all the way around the inside. There might be something sharp inside, so be careful with your fingers. You won't always find something, but if you do, remove it. Next, take your new tube, remove the cap, and unscrew the small nut at the end of the valve stem a bit. Then remove the nut at the base of the stem. Now, blow a few puffs of air into the tube with your mouth. This will give the tube a bit of shape and make it easier to put into the tire. If you have the larger style of valve on your tire, just skip this step. Next, slide the stem through the hole in the rim and secure it with the nut you've removed from the base of the stem. Again, if your new tube doesn't include this nut, just skip this step. Now, using your fingers, tuck the inner tube completely into the tire. To replace the tire, start at the valve and using your hands push the tire back onto the rim, moving in both directions away from the valve hole. When you get to the opposite end of the valve stem, you'll need to use your palms to pop the rest of the tire back onto the rim. Don't use the tire levers for this because you can pinch the tube between the tire and rim and give yourself another flat. Now, you'll want to inspect the wheel to be sure you haven't pinched the tube between the tire and the rim. While holding the wheel, push the tire back from the rim. If you can't see the tube, you don't have a pinch. If you do see a pinch, work the tube back under the tire using your fingers. You're now ready to put the wheel back onto the bike. Pull back on the derailleur, making sure the chain goes back onto the cog, and slide the wheel back into place. Then, tighten the quick release skewer by rotating the lever clockwise a few times while holding the nut on the opposite side securely. Now, close the quick release lever. It doesn't have to be too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. You know your quick release is tight enough if, when closing it, the lever leaves a slight imprint on your hand. Next, close the lever on the brake calipers. Finally, using your CO2 cartridge or pump, inflate your tire. Then close the nut on the valve stem and replace the cap. Before you hop back on your bike, give the tire a spin to make sure it isn't rubbing on the frame or brakes. If it is, simply loosen the quick release lever one more time, adjust the wheel, and tighten the lever. Now you're ready to roll.